Hey guys, Toffee's here. Glad to be back with you. Moved halfway across the country with my family, as some of you may be aware, but this is the first show back, returned. It's not a traditional Coffee with Toffee, it's a little bit different, and I'll get into that in just a second. I do want to cover a few things. First, brand new space. Hope you'll like it. It does have some more, so I can do some standing stuff. We'll have some new shows coming out where we're going to be utilizing the space, and I'm pretty excited about that. Secondly, I'm wearing the new swag, Coffee with Toffee's hats. I'll be honest with you, never been a huge fan of snapbacks, but you know what? I'm adopting the style. I'm going to run with it, and I think it'll be a lot of fun. But you can get those coming very soon. If you're interested, tweet me or get at me, and we can find a way to get you a super sweet hat. I might even be able to bring them to TI. That said, guys, let's talk about the purpose of being on right now. This is a new show. It's going to run for 5 episodes, and that is all this week during the group stages of TI. And it is called While You Were at Work, because if you are a normal person or a college student or just about anybody, you probably are pretty busy during the day and don't have time to sit around and watch all the games. In fact, I tried my best to and was still unable to accomplish that fact. So what I've done is I've parsed fans, experts, as well as the ones that I've watched myself, and I'm going to do this every day where I give you the must-see games that you have to tune into, that you have to watch the replay when you get home tonight or as soon as you have the opportunities. This is stuff that you need to know about what's happening at TI. So day one launched today. Yesterday was the wild cards. We saw some pretty cool stuff happen. Unfortunately, Archon did not advance. They were the North American hope for the third team position, and they did not get out of the group stages. In fact, they had a pretty rough go of things. So that did hurt my heart just a little bit, but the guys who did get out, Phoenix as well as CDEC, deserve to be there. They played very, very well. I look forward to seeing how they perform in the big show. Talking about the big show, up and running today, and man, was it off with a bang. If you thought yesterday's games were good, today's games were even better. There wasn't a game that I watched, maybe one, that I was like, this isn't the best game I've ever seen. New metas, new heroes, stuff that we didn't think we'd see, the return of the Batrider, Gyrocopter getting picked up an awful lot, Tusk becoming a huge part of this meta, and Quap a hero, to say the least. So these are some of the things that we saw, and as far as game recommendations that I have for you guys, it's simple, man. There are 2 games that I'm going to recommend. The first one, picks for the day, C9 versus LGD Game 2. That's Game 2 of C9 versus LGD. It was awesome. Game 1, Game 1 wasn't as great. It was a good game, but C9 got up by 20,000 gold on their lead early on and was unable to maintain that against LGD. They made a massive comeback and took the win right out from under C9, and a lot of us didn't think they'd be able to do it. It did. I mean, even to the point where a lot of you guys know that Cho is hosting TI, and he is somebody who is sort of new to the Dota community, and he even got a chance to slip in there and take a shot at C9 for their throws. So this was C9 at their finest. They are playing well, but they just can't seem to finish. Now, we thought that might have changed because Game 2 is the one that I want you to go watch. This game was crazy. It was a redemptive potential possibility for the guys on C9, and it was led by Eternal Envy, who got the anti-mage pickup and then did a crazy unorthodox build. And I will tell you, this is not ruining the game because you got to see how it plays out, but he picked up a Divine Rapier, and not only did he pick it up, he rushed it, and it changed the face of the game because they were so far behind. If you remember the interviews with Eternal Envy, he always says, when you're losing, when you don't think you can win, you have to make the game of Dota not make sense. Go crazy and change things. And that's what he did. As you watch this game, everyone that I know watched this game was like, what is even happening right now? This is crazy. And that's exactly what it was. So check it out. Watch the game. Rapier play start to finish, and I'll give you a hint. At the end, LGD does ultimately show C9 that, there's some struggles that they have to deal with, but C9, man, they fight and they put up one heck of a show. And I'll tell you, when Envy purchased the Rapier, almost everyone said, this is crazy, the game is over, and it wasn't. And it went a lot longer and a lot more intensive and was an awful lot of fun. So make sure you check out that game. As my pick of the day, C9 versus LGD, Game 2. Now, the crowd favorite, it was one that wasn't on the mainstream. This was picked up on the second stream. I didn't get a chance to watch it because I was watching the mainstream all day while I was doing some other work. This was Complexity versus MVP Game 1. Now, this was a back and forth game from what I understand with a all kinds of crazy stuff, but most importantly, it had what we're going to call the surprise refresher, which I contend that at the end of TI, as somebody put together a top 10 list of smart plays or amazing plays, surprise refresher will almost certainly be on that. MVP thought they had the win. Complexity Gaming did something with a refresher orb that I haven't seen that was truly next level. I hear it's been done before, but never in my attention, and managed to turn things around and come out and make it really a pulse-pounding finish. If you like base races, if you like chaos, if you like comebacks, if you like smoke gangs, and if you like real quality team fights where you don't know what's going to happen, unbridled aggression, this is the game to check out. So watch those replays. C9 versus LGD Game 2, Complexity versus MVP. That is the crowd favorite, and I highly recommend it. At the end of the day one, and I should say end because the games are still going on, but at the time of this taping, LGD has put up one hell of a performance. They haven't had as hard of teams to deal with. That is, or I guess you could argue that. They did beat C9, and they also beat I believe it was Complexity as well today, and they did advance. So they won both of their group stage games, which puts them at 2-0 and on the top of the brackets, I should say 4-0, as they did take both. Team Secret was a surprise to me today because they dropped a game to a team that I didn't think that they would drop to, but it shows the power of Mushi, and that is they dropped a game to Fnatic, previously Team Malaysia. Fnatic came out, and as Winter said very astutely on the casting couch, Mushi's style of play is if you're a good team that he believes that he could potentially lose to or should lose to, then he puts together strategies that are designed 100% about dominating the lane. And that's exactly what Fnatic did against Secret. Got off to a good start and took a game off of them. I think it caught everybody, including Secret, by surprise. They came back in their next series and absolutely obliterated their opponents. I will say no more because I don't want to give you any spoilers if you watch other games. But remember, what games are we watching tonight? C9 versus LGD Game 2, Complexity versus MVP Game 1. Guys, I appreciate you joining me here at Short Fast. It'll be uploaded everywhere just so that you can check it out whether you're on the go or you're at home. But this is a sweet short-term feature called While You Are at Work. Brought to you by 2P and Razor, and of course myself, Toffees. Always glad to be here with you. And as always, Toffees out.